Hi again, everyone. Today we're going to talk about another really important concept. This comes from chapter 2, and this starts on page 55 in your textbook, and it is about Porter's five forces and the competitive environment. What really is important here is understanding where there can be areas for potential issues with profitability in an industry. So, for example, say we want to do, and I give an example in the lecture notes too, but say we want to come forward and start a company called Northwood Shoe Company. All right, we're going to start this business. It's going to be athletic shoes. We're going to market to pretty much everyone. So, we'll have kids, men's, women's shoes, all ages, things like that, different kinds of shoes, whatever. All right. We are on the marketing team and we need to decide, we need to do an evaluation and analysis, like this is the analysis part of the book, about the industry and what's going on there. And what we will do is we will do a Porter's Five Forces analysis. So it starts on the top of page 55, and then what becomes really important, and remember, this is about factors and forces that can affect a company's profitability. So where are there potential areas if we enter into the shoe market that we could potentially see may have an impact on our profitability, all right? So what I would like you to do is actually take out a piece of paper. You might want to pause this for a minute. And I'm going to go around each of the forces, give this example, and give some really critical information. Now, I will tell you that a lot of students, the first time they see this, they have some issues and problems with it because they don't understand that it's for the industry. It's not for the company. SWOT analysis is done in a company. Porter's Five Forces is done on an industry. So sometimes students will mix up the two and you will have some issues that will happen there, so they won't do the analysis correctly. I require a SWOT analysis and a Porter's Five Forces analysis for your case project at the end of this semester. So it's important that you understand this. And we'll have several times that we'll practice it, but I want to make sure that you do understand it. So on the top of page 56, there is an exhibit 2.7. And I've actually written this out on my little piece of paper here, hopefully that you can see. And I'm going to be going along at the same time that I'm going to be talking to you. So first and foremost, let's think about what a company really wants. Every single company in this entire world wants three things. They want their sales increased, they want their cost decreased, so that means that their profit is increased. All right? Very, very simple. Sales up, cost down, profit up. When you have the combination of increasing your sales at the same time that you're reducing your costs, just like in your personal portfolio or personal life, you're going to have a really big impact on that profit line. So that's what you want to do. So part of this is about the cost structure of the industry and about the sales revenue side of it as well. So let's start out here with the power of the suppliers. These are the suppliers into the athletic shoe market. So there are people that are suppliers that supply the raw materials into the shoes. There are also the companies that provide it, like Nike, Adidas, Puma. Okay, all of those people provide products that go into the shoe industry. So what does a supplier into an industry want? Well, they are selling product to a Walmart. They're selling it to, any type of shoe manufacturer, whatever. Or, I'm sorry, shoe store that they can find to sell their product, right? Dunham's, things like that. They want to increase their price because they want to make more profit. They want more sales. The suppliers, this is on the left side of the chart. Suppliers want an increase in price. They want to reduce the quality of the product to the lowest point they can because that lowers their cost structure. So without the customer having any, ill effects or not wanting to buy the product anymore. So they want price increased, quality decreased. So when a supplier is powerful, which they will talk about in the book, they can increase their price or lower their quality when they need to or when they can do it. So if you were tied to a raw material that was tied to the oil market, obviously oil and the barrel of oil fluctuates all the time, right? It's a spot market. So if overnight the cost of a barrel of oil increases by 50%, those suppliers that use oil derivatives or oil in their products, they can raise their price. They have negotiating power, they have bargaining power, They have they have high bargaining power because they can do it because they're tied to something that has increased to them. So as you're looking through these, and all of these are the bargaining power, you're going to rate each force as low, medium, or high, meaning low bargaining power, they can't raise their price, commodity type products. So we sell nails, or we sell wire, or we sell shoelaces, or something that's pretty much more of a commodity into an industry. We can't really raise our prices much because there's 5,000 other companies out there that sell the same product. But if we are Nike, Nike has a branded position. Obviously, they're differentiated. People will buy Nike just because it says Nike on it. They have power because they know they wield that based on their name, product, reputation, all that kind of things. So they can charge almost whatever they want. We've seen some Nike shoes with $300-$400 a pair. There's also a lot that are $100 and below. But they know that they can wield that power, so they have high negotiating power as a supplier. If we flip over to the other side of the chart here, the power of the buyers. All right, first and foremost, if you are a large buyer, if you are Walmart, you naturally wield a lot of negotiating power. You can ask for whatever you want and you will probably get it. Because they buy in such huge, large volumes, the companies that sell to Walmart, sometimes those sales to Walmart are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 100% of their sales, and Walmart knows it. So if Walmart wants a price reduction, they get it, because sometimes if Walmart lost that account, which Walmart doesn't probably care about it, but those companies could go into bankruptcy, all right? Every single buyer, when you go buy a car, when you go buy anything, everyone likes to get a lower price and a higher quality, right? Same thing with the buyers in the industry. They want to purchase those Nike shoes for their Dunham stores at the lowest price possible, at the quality, the highest quality, so we're getting value for that, right? Because then when they resell it to the customer in their Dunham store, they want to make more of a profit, because that's what companies want, right? They want a high profit. So again, high, medium, or low that you're looking at. And as you read through the book, they're going to say a buyer is powerful when, a supplier is powerful when, and they're talking about this negotiating power. The other ones here are potential entrants into the industry. So if we're trying to get into the shoe industry, what do we need? If there are high barriers to overcome, like high capital costs, high intellectual property that we would need, large capital, large economies of scale, meaning we would have to put in a massively huge facility. Like if we were going to go into the oil refinery business, all right, we would need billions of dollars of capital. We would need a lot of people with very specific skills. It would be very hard to start up an oil company from the ground up. That's why you don't see many that come into that industry, because there are so many huge barriers to overcome to make even a small profit, right? But if you are in an industry where it's pizza, okay, there are tons of pizza shops in almost every town in the whole world. Why? Because it's easy to get into. Okay, there are not those barriers. What do you need? An oven, a recipe, maybe a small space to put in some tables and chairs. Maybe you don't even need that. Maybe you just do delivery. Okay, and you can do it out of your kitchen or whatever. Okay, it's not that hard to do. So their potential entrance, either low, medium, or high, excuse me, and that depends on the barriers. So if you have high barriers to overcome, like large capital, things like that, you're going to have a low potential threat of entrance coming in, because it's very hard to do. If you have low barriers to overcome, low hurdles, you'll get a lot of entrants come in. What does that mean? More competition, pricing, more potential areas where your profitability can go down. Because remember, that's what we're looking at here. Other one is substitute products, which is at the bottom, the threat of substitutes. Again, that can take away from your profits, because if I'm in the athletic shoe market, there are lots of other things that I can put on my feet. Okay, I don't have maybe necessarily have to have the Nike or Adidas shoe. I can have a shoe that's at Walmart, an off-branded shoe. I could also put sandals or flip-flops or something else on me, on my foot. It doesn't necessarily have to be that exact shoe. So there are a ton of substitutes. When you think about substitutes, don't just think about that product. Think about other things. Like if we were talking about the airline industry, a substitute would be taking a train, taking your car, walking, motorcycle. Okay, there are different ways, even though walking may take forever, but that still could be a potential substitute. So don't just think about that product line. Think of other things that could have an impact too. And the last one is the rivalry in the industry. Most industries have high rivalry because there's so much competition. Sometimes when you have regulated industries, you won't see that type of thing, but that's a little bit different. But so all of these collectively, you're looking at where potential areas where if we enter as a company, we can have profitability issues. All right. And I go into an example in the book and then here again. So each one of these would be rated high, medium, or low for each of the 5 forces. Then you need to make a determination of, all right, so what does that tell me? Okay, it doesn't just tell me if the industry is attractive or not. It's just giving us an indication of where do we need to look for potential resolutions to some of these issues. How can we protect ourselves? How can we not get ourselves in an issue where the suppliers wield a ton of power and they take all our profitability away? Or if we are a large buyer or a small buyer, or what can we do? So there are many different ways to look at this. And again, we'll go over some different examples, and it's really important to understand this concept because it is used in business all the time. Michael Porter, I posted a couple videos of him. He's a great guy. He's a professor at Harvard, and he has some really good insights on Porter's 5 forces and how it came about. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.